just accepted what is changing. It doesn't have something negative, no way. It could be something positive.
El intento es, o la misión es escuchar a los demás. ¿Queda alguien en esa junta sin la oportunidad de hablar y compartir
There
su
are
idea?
maybe people without the opportunity to talk, and like nobody around wants to talk about it, because that's also part of the culture.
Para cultura,
For culture, to talk a little bit more about culture, I have a very academic way to do it. And this academic way is we're going to prepare a stew, beef stew. An organization, let's say, is this pot that it's empty here. And we're going to talk a little bit about culture here. If today, and I'm going to ask you, Teresa, if today, Teresa, you're going to prepare beef stew, what type of ingredients are you going to look for? Well, what would you buy? Just mention a couple of ingredients if you want to prepare. If we're going to do a beef stew, well, beef, some like onions, coriander that we use almost in everything, carrots, potatoes, the one that looks like letters.
Muy bien, muy bien. No, pues mira,
yeah,
pude encontrar algunos de los que mencionaste, no todos.
I was able to find a couple of the ones that you mentioned. Some of the ingredients that you mentioned are here. Now, again, a question for you, and I see that Monica and Julio, water is missing. There's something missing. But if we use these ingredients, what quality of ingredients are you going to choose? If you go to get meat, you go to the market to buy the beef, what quality of the beef is the one that you want to get? Like that doesn't have much bones or much grease or fat, like a lean meat. What if you have two pieces of meat and one looks like a little raw, like maybe it's about to expire, and the other one looks fresh that they just cut it? Which one will you choose? The fresh one, of course. Yeah, the same with carrots, right? If you grab a carrot and it's not good, would you buy it or would you leave it and try to get like a carrot that looks fresher? No, always we try to look what looks better, like within our budget, because we also have to see that sometimes we will have to leave a vegetable or another one, choose one over the other to be able to buy a better quality of meat here. So quality is important. Very good. So we've talked about these ingredients, as Monica mentioned and Julio mentioned, the water is missing, but not just the water, We're talking about this stew, this broth, the taste of the broth. It's important. Monica, if you can unmute yourself, Monica, how do you prefer a good broth?
I don't know if Monica's still with us. If you can open your microphone, Monica. Unmute. Maybe, okay, they're calling my name now. I apologize, I was having trouble with the internet. Oh, no worries. Monica, thank you so much for the trust. Let's talk about the water or the broth. How do we know this is a good quality broth? How do we prepare it to taste good? Just to make sure that it has all the right spices, we could say. What type of spices will you put, Monica, in a beef stew or beef soup? Oh, Monica maybe is thinking, I don't even have or eat that soup. Maybe just to have some flavor, onions and garlic, some salt. Okay, very good. Perfect. Some of you, maybe they're thinking, what does this have to do with the conversation? Because we're talking about a beef soup or beef stew and we're getting hungry. When we're talking about the culture of organization, we have certain elements that have an influence in that culture. Also, when we are talking about soup or broth or a stew, in this soup, we put the best ingredients that we could find, as we were mentioning a while ago. And it could be the best meat, the best vegetables, everything, the best of the best. And we're putting the flavor. But we also heard, Monica, what we should put in that broth so it tastes good. And if we put everything in the pot after the ingredients, a broth that tastes good and is yummy, this will give you a result. Let's say a positive result. In an organization, this metaphor, we're going to see it this way. In an organization, we could have the best ingredients and we can say we have the best team, the best offices, and we can say, you know what, we are looking for the best talent and we have the best talent for the work that we are doing, and the best operator, the best staff for sales, the best community support, whatever. And those are the ingredients that we are putting inside this organization, and we are looking the best of the best. And I imagine it's the same thing for all the people who are here in this call. We want the best. Perfect. We have people, we have the team, we have everything. But let's remember that all of this is going to be influenced by the culture of this organization. The culture of this organization, this is the broth for the organization. If the broth tastes good, we are going to have good flavor. So what I'm showing you right now on the screen, those are the examples, the ingredients. We're talking about safety, established programs, policies, procedures, everything that we need to know. But at the same time, it's not just safety, also staff, programs, trainings, whatever you're doing. Those are the ingredients, but the culture is the broth. It's what's inside this organization. And if we have values in this organization, if we have trust, if we have commitment, leadership, respect, dignity, if we take care of each other, if we are taking care of our colleagues, and if we have that care, that respect, that commitment, that broth is going to taste really good. Those ingredients are going to be even better. If the meat was a good quality meat, it's going to taste even better. This is a positive culture in an organization. This is a needed element in an organization. So these elements can just be highlighted. We hire the best team or the best staff, and when they get here, they get even better because of the culture that we have. But what happens when the same ingredients and the same talent, when the best team comes and finds a culture where, for example, we have double rules or different rules. Some of the rules apply for some and not for others. And when something bad happens, we are blaming each other. And when we don't have any participation, and when we are just promising things, but we are not coming through with those promises, those elements are damaging that culture. When we have leadership, but you barely see them in an organization, something that is very impactful in a negative way is that the leaders don't show themselves. The leaders are not present. They don't come out and talk to the people, and they're just looking around. When the leader is absent or the leaders are absent, ladies and gentlemen, and then the culture changes. They could be really good leaders, but the culture is going to change if the people don't see the leader. How then we can know what is that they're expecting from us? How do we feel, like Armando was saying, that arm that is supporting us if we don't see you? In my industry, my profession, in the companies that I have worked with, I see the difference when a leader is present or when they're not present. Because sometimes, like Blanca was saying, we have negative leaders. Of course, Blanca, we're talking about that. But like some people say they're toxic leaders. We have toxic leaders. They exist. It's so negative, that leader, so we don't want him here because we are going to be even worse if he's here. That's something obvious. But the importance of the leader to be present. And once again, what can I share from my experience? I remember one. He has been working there, and I think it's been 28 years since I worked with them. And I still remember, those are the examples we take in life. I remember when we were taking a ride to work, we're going to go here, we're going to go there. We'll start from Avenal until Paso Robles, and we will get to the ranch, and the contractor will take us where we supposed to be working that day. And I remember that example. I remember when people would say, where are we going today? And sometimes he will tell us, we are going to James Ranch. James Ranch? Yes, James Ranch. Okay, let's put our effort in. And we will be there and we will work on that field like it was our own field. And you know why? Because that rancher, James, this little old man, will come in his truck when we were working, and he will bring water, he will bring candy and other things. He didn't have to do any of that, but we would see that leader and how he was paying attention to us, so we were giving our best to him. And when we were going to any other ranch, we will work our best. Don't think we would do the same. But when we were at James Ranch, and that leader will make us feel that way, we will work that field as if it was our own field. And that is the impact that a leader has on the people. You don't have to be something extraordinary or big. Just by taking care of others, especially when you don't even have to do it, take into account the people. When it's easy, maybe just to ignore them, those moments, 20 years later, I still remember them. That is the impact of my life and the impact of a culture when people feel seen. And we only have one thing to do when we feel respected and when we feel ready, we give our best. And it happens naturally. That is the impact of a good leader.
Adelante, Elizabeth, ¿ibas a mencionar algo?
Elizabeth, were you about to say something?
A lo mejor
maybe she just left the microphone unmuted. If you have any questions, you don't have to wait until the end. Please just unmute and start talking, ask your question. I prefer you to ask the questions as you have them than having to wait. And we can talk a little bit about the culture, the good and the bad. And I don't want to leave the comment that Blanca put in the chat. We also have negative leaders that have impact that is not positive on people. And I have been very proud, and I have had the privilege and the opportunity to work for really big leaders. And also, please listen to what I'm about to say. I also had the big opportunity to work for really bad leaders. For me, it's a big opportunity to work with leaders that are negative, with leaders that don't want to see you grow, that don't want to see you develop. For me, has been a very good opportunity working in these opportunities because I feel like I don't have support, or where I feel like that I don't have any help. I don't have that strong arm, as Armando was mentioning. And the leader comes and immediately he makes you feel that you are less than him. And we don't have that equality. I had the great opportunity to work with those leaders. And I'm mentioning this as an opportunity because from there I have learned as well the things that I don't have to do. You think that you only learn from the positive lessons of life, but we really learn even better from the worst than from the good. That is my point of view. I have learned a lot from the hardest moments of my life. The growth has come to my life personally in those hard moments. But as everything, sometimes people don't see it that way. And during my career, I have met some people that have communicated with me and have told me, well, Jose, I work here and I have a leader that doesn't help. He doesn't support me. He doesn't recognize my job. I'm going just to quit. I'm going somewhere else. I have heard that comment many, many times in my life. My answer has always been the same. First, you have the right to leave that position and just go to a place where they can see you, where they can protect you, where they recognize you. Everybody has the right to do that, of course. But all that influence and so much power that you are giving to that person, you are willing to change your future just for one person, just because things are getting hard. Let me tell you, if he is a bad leader or he or she, that is not the only one that exists in the world. Probably you're going to find others in your way. And when you find another one like him or her, what are you going to do? Are you going to change your destiny? You're going to leave once again just because it's not fair? Again, if you do it, it's your right. But how much power are you giving to others? How much power are you giving to others to change your own future? If things were supposed to be easy all the time, I guarantee you that many of you wouldn't be where you are right now. If you are where you are right now, it's because you have passed through a lot of obstacles and you have been fighting. And if everything would be easy, I don't know you, but me, I wouldn't be here. My best lessons I have learned in the hardest moments of my life. With this, I'm going to start to this point that is developing. How can we develop ourselves if we are all under construction, if we have to get better? How can we do this? And this conversation, I had it, well, I don't have to remember much. 2 days ago, I was talking to some leaders who in their organization, they have a really high level. And this is the question that they were asking after having that conversation. Jose, I see my failures. What can I do? How can I develop myself? I want to be better. And my answer to that person will be the same as any other day. The first step is that you have to see your flaws. Ana says you have to recognize yourself. That is very essential for the leadership development. Ana is very right. We have to recognize ourselves first and recognize that we are imperfect, recognize that we have flaws, and recognize that we are growing. And if you don't have the ability to recognize that in you, how then you are going to be growing? If something or someone doesn't feel that he's missing or she's missing something, why is that person looking for something? But if you feel that you are lacking something, that person is going to go and look for it. And everyone will get benefits from that developing. And we need to talk about how to develop all of this. What you see here on the screen are 5 elements, and they're called emotional intelligence. This is not something new or something that was just invented. And for all of you, if not for the majority, for everyone,
inteligencia emocional.
maybe you have heard this.
Estos 5 elementos
Emotional
es una
intelligence.
ciencia, es algo que se
This
ha
is a
implementado
science
por
and something
años
that
y
has been
décadas.
implemented for years, decades
Algo
now.
que
Something
cuando
that
recuerdo mis días con
when
campo,
I
con mi
remember my
abuela,
days in the fields
ella me
with my mom,
enseñó a crecer en
she
estas áreas sin ella
teach
saber
me how to grow in these areas
que eran áreas
without
definidas,
her even knowing that
sin
these
ella
were
haber leído
defined
libros,
areas, without
sin pasar por
even
una
reading any
universidad,
books from the
sin
university.
ella saber todo esto. Ella
She didn't even know any of these, but
me
she
enseñó
naturally
estos elementos.
taught me these
Son 5
elements.
áreas,
There are
5 áreas,
5
5 sectores
areas
donde podemos
where we can
desarrollar
see or
ese
develop
liderazgo,
that leadership
esa habilidad
and
en lo
that
personal, antes de
ability.
entrar un poco a fondo en
Personally,
estos 5.
before
En lo
going
personal les
deeper
digo lo
on these
siguiente,
5,
en el momento que
personally,
yo
I want to say
pude
this.
mejorar
The
en
moment
cada una de
where I
estas
was
áreas, y sigo
able
mejorando,
to improve in these areas, and
porque
I'm still
el trabajo no se acaba,
getting better day by
y yo
day.
empecé a
The
echarle
work
ganas
never stops. But when I
a mi
started
desarrollo
putting my
en
effort
cada
on
una
my
de estas áreas,
developing of these
no
5
solamente,
areas,
vamos a ser sinceros, no solamente
let's be
me fue
honest,
mejor en el negocio,
I not
o
only
en el
was better
trabajo,
with my
o en la
business, with my
posición que
work,
tenía,
or
la
the position that I
posición
had
que
at the
tenía,
moment, whatever it was.
pero aún más importante,
But most
cuando
importantly,
yo puse esfuerzo en
when
estas
I
áreas, me
was
ayudó a
putting
yo
my
ser
effort in these areas,
un mejor hijo,
that helped me to
un
be
mejor
a
padre,
better son,
y
a
día
better
con día me
father,
ayuda a ser un
and
mejor
day by
padre.
day is helping me to be a better
El trabajo
husband.
no se acaba.
And the work doesn't
¿Quieres
stop.
ser un mejor líder?
Do you want to be a better leader?
Enfócate en estas áreas,
Just focus on these areas,
trabaja en estas áreas,
work in these areas,
el cambio lo vas a ver
and you'll
si lo
see that
pones en acción.
change if you put your effort in.
Cuando hablamos de autoconciencia,
When we're talking
regresando
about
al comentario de Ana,
self-awareness,
ese reconocimiento
going
de
back
cómo
to
te
that,
reconoces,
just
cómo te
what
reconoces a
Anna
ti mismo,
said,
de lo
how do you
bueno
recognize yourself?
y lo malo también,
The good
porque
and the bad
necesitas
as well. We
autoconciencia,
have to
la habilidad
have
de
that
poder ver
self-awareness, the
realmente y
ability
decir,
to
oye,
see
no,
yourself in
soy
the
muy bueno
mirror
para
and
esto,
say, I'm really
pero
good
de
at
igual forma
this, but at the
decir,
same time,
pero ando fallando en esta
but
otra
I'm
parte,
failing in this
y ahí
other
es donde
part.
tengo que ponerle
And that's
esfuerzo.
where I need to put my
Esto
effort.
es lo que a veces nos falta.
And that's what we are lacking
En el punto de
sometimes.
autoconciencia,
And when we talk about
tenemos
self
3 puntos
awareness,
que
we have
considerar.
3 simple elements that we need to
Autoevaluación
consider.
realista.
Just
Hay que ser
being
realistas con
real
nosotros
when
mismos.
we are self
Muchas
evaluating.
veces pensamos que somos
Many
muy
times
buenos. Muchas veces
we think
pensamos
that
que
we
somos
are
mejor de lo
really
que en realidad
good
somos.
and we are
Y
better
eso,
than we
eso de
really
cierta
are.
forma
And
disfraza la
till
oportunidad de
certain
desarrollo.
point, that's
Si les
just
preguntara ahorita a ustedes,
putting
a todos,
like a
quiénes
facade.
son, quién es el mejor
And if we ask
conductor
right now, who is the best driver
en la carretera, la
on the
mayoría de ustedes
streets?
dijeran que ustedes.
And many
Yo no
of
soy
you
el
would
mejor
say, I am the
conductor.
best
Yo soy el mejor
driver.
conductor.
There is. I am the
Déjenme
best
decirles que
driver.
todo el
And let me
mundo,
tell
incluido
you that the whole world,
un
including
servidor, también
myself,
se siente que es el mejor conductor.
sometimes I feel
Pero
like
la
I'm the
verdad es que
best
como
driver.
todos,
But the
no somos los
reality
mejores.
is that we are not the
Muchas
best
fallas.
drivers. We have a lot of
Nos falta
flaws.
la autoevaluación.
And we still have to
¿Cuáles
have
son
that
mis
self-awareness
fortalezas
that is a
y
realistic
cuáles son mis debilidades?
self-assessment.
Y las fortalezas,
And also the strength,
trabajar en ellas, hacer mejor.
I have to
Si tienes
work
una
in them to be
fortaleza,
better. And if you
buscar
have a
la forma
strength, we
de
have to find
compartir
a way to
ese
share
regalo
that
que
gift
posiblemente tienes, esa
that you
fortaleza,
possibly
ese
have, that
don,
strength,
compartirlo con los demás,
that
verlo
gift, and be
trabajar
able to
en beneficio de
share with
otros.
others and
Y en
just
esas
work
áreas en
with
las que puedes
others.
mejorar,
In those
poner
areas
el
where you
trabajo
can improve,
necesario.
also put the
Una
work
persona
that
con
is needed.
autoconciencia
A
elevada tiene el sentido
person
del
with a high
autocrítico.
self-awareness
Cuando las
has
cosas
that
salen mal, se
auto-criticism. With
ríe,
something is not
aprende y
going
crece.
good, they laugh, they
Una
learn, and
persona
they
que le
grow.
falta autoconciencia cuando
And a
comete un
person that
error
doesn't have
busca hacerse
self-awareness, when
culpable,
they make a
busca
mistake, he's
excusas,
always looking
busca
for
razones por las
blame,
cuales las cosas salieron mal
excuses,
y no aprende.
reasons, and
Una
the
persona
person
con
doesn't learn.
autoconciencia
A person
imparte
with
confianza.
self-awareness is
La
giving
gente te
that
confía
trust to
porque eres
others.
honesto.
People trust in you because you are
Porque
honest.
como dijera mi mamá, no te crees la mamá de los
Like my
perritos.
mom
Cuando
would say,
sabes que estás
don't
siendo
feel like
sincero.
you're
Confianza.
the mom of the little chicks.
Autorregulación. Es el
Um,
segundo punto de esta
Also,
inteligencia
the
emocional.
next point will be
Autorregulación es
self-regulation.
algo
Self-regulation
delicado.
It's something very
Una
delicate.
persona con
Let's say it this way.
alta
A
autorregulación
person with a
es una
high
persona que tiene
self-regulation is a person
consideración,
who has
consideración de los demás,
consideration of others.
consideración y
He
tiene
consider others and
comodidad al
also
cambio.
it's very
Una
comfortable
persona
with
con alta
changes.
integridad.
A person with
Si
high
nada más les
integrity.
digo esto, la
And if
mayoría de
I'm
ustedes van
telling
a
you
decir, ah,
this,
eso se entendió,
most of
el
you are going
autorregulación
to
está muy
say,
alto,
well,
entonces, si eso
Jose,
es
I'm very high
autorregulación,
then if you're just talking about
autorregulación.
self-regulation. I'm very good at that.
No es tan fácil el asunto.
It's not that easy.
Autorregulación se
That
pone a prueba
self-regulation can
cuando
be
te
tested
enfrentas a algo
when you are in
diferente a
front
ti,
of something that is
cuando te
different
enfrentas a
from you,
algo
when you're in front
que
of
no te
something
parece,
that
cuando
you
alguien te
don't agree
empieza a
with,
ofender.
when somebody maybe is offending you.
¿Cómo tú respondes a eso?
How do
Ahí
you
está la
respond to that?
autorregulación.
And that's when
Llega alguien, te
self-regulation
dice
comes in
algo,
place.
inmediatamente
Somebody
te
comes and tells you
reaccionas, no
something,
tienes
you
autorregulación.
react fast, then you
Le
don't have
das más
self-regulation. You
importancia
are
a tus
giving them too
elementos.
much importance to
¿Por
those
qué dejas
elements.
el trabajo
Why are
por
you
irte a
leaving
trabajar con
that
el
job to
jefe,
go work
con
somewhere
el
else
líder?
just because the
No te
leader
reconoce tu
didn't
trabajo.
recognize your
Te
job?
estás llevando, te
You
estás dando a llevar
are
con esa
just
emoción
going
de una
with
forma
that
muy rápida.
emotion in a
No te
very
digo que no
fast
lo tomes
way.
en cuenta,
I'm not saying that you don't
pero tu
have to take that into account,
autorresponsabilidad se pone a prueba en eso.
but your
Hay un
self-regulation
dicho que
is
le digo yo
assessed
siempre a la
during
gente.
those times.
Cuando
There's
yo
a
hablo
saying
con
that I
alguien,
tell people all the time.
cuando
When I talk
yo
to
tengo la
someone,
oportunidad
when I
de
have the
conocer a alguien
opportunity to
y me
connect
trata
with
con
someone
respeto,
and they're treating me with
yo les
respect,
doy respeto.
I give them respect
Cuando
back.
yo trato con alguien que
And
me
when I'm
falta el
treating with
respeto,
someone who is
yo
disrespectful,
le doy respeto.
I
Porque esa
treat
persona
them
no
with
tiene la
respect
influencia de
because
cambiar
that
quién
person
soy.
doesn't have the influence
Porque
to
si no me
change
puedo
who I am.
autorregular,
Because if I'm not able
pues
to
entonces nomás le voy a
self-regulate,
dar lo mejor de
then
mí a
I'm
alguien
just
que se
gonna
lo
give the
merece.
best of me to
Eso no es
whoever
servir a los
is
demás.
worthy of it.
Quieres dar lo mejor de
That's
ti
not serving others. If you
todo
wanna
el tiempo,
give your best,
aunque a veces
do it
sea
all the
difícil.
time, even though sometimes it's very hard.
Esto es autorregulación.
This is
Dame un momento para
self-regulation.
pensar, como
Take a
dicen en este
moment just to
país,
think,
who
like they
pushes your
say in
buttons.
this
Hay alguien que llega
country, who
y te
pushes
dice
your
algo e
buttons.
inmediatamente te prendes.
Sometimes
Te
somebody
falta
comes and tells you
autorregulación.
something and you just
Te
don't know what to
aseguro.
do. You are lacking
Adelante.
self-regulation.
Sí, sí,
Jose, I have a
adelante.
question. Yeah, go ahead. Right now that you're touching this topic of self-regulation, I have a thing that I want to share with an employee. We had to end with that in that company. And when I had to talk to him, I did it with another supervisor with me, and he reacted in a very negative way. And when he started being disrespectful to me, my reaction was just to take it like a joke, but just reflecting. That's not the correct way. The correct way is maybe not to share any something like, I don't know, just stay calm, just not respond in any other different way. That's my
Sí,
question.
mira, José, antes que
Well,
nada,
Jose, more than anything,
gracias por ese comentario
thank you so much for
y
your comment.
gracias por salir del mute y
And thank
compartirlo.
you for muting and sharing
Es un
that with
poco
me.
de eso, es mucho de
That
eso,
is a little bit of
el
that.
poder estar en un área
It's
neutral.
just being in a
Pero
neutral
lo que añadiera yo a ese
point.
comentario es el
And
propósito de estar en
what
el
I
área
could
neutral.
add to this comment
Sí,
is
para el ejemplo que
to be
dices,
able to be
un
in a
trabajador
neutral point.
estaba
The
muy
example that you were
molesto,
giving, maybe the worker
parece que te estaba
wasn't
insultando,
happy,
había algo
it was
personal.
being just
La respuesta ahí
disrespectful, and it was
es
taking it
no estar
personal.
enfadado ni
The
tampoco
answer would
reírte
be
porque dices,
don't
mejor no me
be
enojo.
upset and also don't
El
laugh.
propósito de la
But the
autorregulación
purpose
es el
about
entendimiento.
self-regulation is the
Y cuando
understanding,
logramos autorregularnos
because
en
when we are
ocasiones,
able to
abrimos un
self-regulate
espacio
our
para poder
emotions, we
entender a la
open
otra
the
persona
space
un
to be
poco
able
mejor.
to understand the other person a little better.
Entender no es estar de acuerdo.
Understanding is
Entender
not
es
agreeing.
entender.
Understanding
Cuando
is
estás
just
discutiendo
understanding.
con
When
alguien y la
you're
persona se enoja y
discussing
empieza a
something with
atacarte,
somebody and the person gets
asuman
upset and
ponerte en
he
una forma
starts
neutral,
being
te das
disrespectful, if
la
you
oportunidad de
stay
tener
in a
un enfoque
neutral point,
aún más de dónde
you
está
are
viniendo
able
la
to stop a
emoción
little bit and
de
just think
ese
about where is that
el
emotion
trabajador
coming
a lo
from
mejor está
that that
frustrado
person is projecting. Maybe the worker
porque se
is
enojó de que lo
frustrated
despidieron
because he's
injustamente, pero
upset
no
because
por su
he's
culpa.
getting
Porque ese
fired.
día va a tener que llegar a su casa
Maybe
y va a perder
that
el
day he
trabajo
has to
y va a
go
tener
home
que
and
enfrentar
tell
a la
his
familia.
family, I lost my
¿Qué está
job, and
llevando
he
a
has
cabo
to
esa
let
emoción
them know.
negativa que
what is happening? Why is he having that negative emotion? And at the end, even though it's not your fault, you are the person who are in front of him at that moment. So just understanding and being neutral helps you to understand the point of view of the other person. Just to understand where he's coming from. If we are able to understand others' points of view, again, we don't have to agree, but we can understand the other point of view and maybe to adapt how we are behaving or the message that we are conveying. Or just simply, we can say this attack may seem personal, but it's not personal. I tell people frequently an effective way to self-regulate when something negative happens. Remember that it's not something personal. Please don't take it so personal. Well, I have a leader that I'm always working and he never recognized. He always letting me out of the projects. Don't take it personal. Well, how do you want me to know to take it personal? Because that's my job. It's not your fault. That's not you. Those are the actions from another person and the way that the other person is acting. Why do you think it's so personal to you? When you're taking it personal, you cannot avoid getting upset or to respond or to explode because we're taking it way too personal. It's easy to say, but hard to do. And I work with these in these areas every day. There's a saying that the rocks and the sticks will hurt you if they throw them at you, but the words are even worse. When we're talking about self-regulation, we are the ones who let other people hurt us or just to get upset because of other people. Yes, that's a really good comment to add. I agree completely with you. I agree. And I'm not here just to say that responding in a different way is bad or you shouldn't. I'm just saying that responding in a way when somebody else is activating that answer or that response, that's not the best thing for you. You have to look for the best thing for you. We have to adapt to everything. I apologize. She already unmuted. Continue. Yes. Look, Jose, I had a problem in one of the jobs that I have a long time ago. I felt like I wasn't valued there. I was trying to be there first than anybody else because I was the new one. So let's the new do everything. And I'm like a sponge. I like to know everything. So when another person comes, they can say, okay, Sonia knows how to do it. Just let her do it. And I was doing everything and everything. But after some time, the person who was the leader would tell me, okay, Sonia, go clean the place where everybody have lunch or the lunchroom. And when I was done cleaning the microwaves, that person would tell me, go clean the restrooms and everything else. And then the person will ask me, what are you doing? Well, I'm cleaning here and cleaning that, and I'm not able to finish everything. So I said to myself, these people are not valuing me. They're not giving me the value that I have because I'm doing everything. So I went to the supervisor and I asked her if I could talk to her 5 minutes. And she told me, yes, come in. You can talk to me. I'm going to start telling you that I put everything on a scale. So I'm looking at my values and I'm just looking at my mental health, And why am I mentioning that? Because I get up every day and I like my job. I do everything and I'm constantly meeting new people and all of that. Sonia, she told me, I love the way you work. I don't have to tell you what you need to do. And you even do things that you're not supposed to be doing. Yes, but my mental health goes first. That's what I told her. Arlene is always on top of me. She's asking me to do this. She's asking me to do that. And I prefer just to quit my job than having a discussion. And she's been here for many, many years. And she's in charge of everything. So I didn't want to make her uncomfortable. If I'm the problem here, I'm going to quit because my mental health goes first. Because she's not giving the value to my work. And sometimes we don't have that strength to say something. And as Teresa said, they step on top of us. So always with respect, with a big leader, as Teresa, like the word that I'm always saying, I'm a bridge, and I always tell them I don't deserve this because I'm giving you quality, respect. So what are you giving me back? So no.
El punto es de que yo hice valer que dije yo, no, yo no puedo estar aquí. ¿Por qué? Porque mi salud mental me está afectando.
So I said I cannot be here because my mental health is being damaged. Someone that wakes up in the morning to prepare lunch and your alarm goes off and you want to turn it off. It's because you don't like your work. The thing is that you want to prepare your lunch and you go to work gladly. Why? Because you like your job. But if you are not happy with your job, sometimes I said 10 more minutes or you're silent and it's difficult to go back to work. So I love myself today, tomorrow, and always. So I can do it. I have it. Amen, Sonia. This is a very nice message that you're sharing with us. Thank you for sharing it.
Creo que hay que aclarar algo de mi parte,
I think I have to
100%
clarify
de acuerdo
something
con lo que
because
mencionas.
I 100% agree with what you agree. Self-regulation and staying neutral doesn't mean to stay quiet. It means to speak up for yourself. You always have to be the person that it's advocated for yourself. You have to do it in a constructive and positive way so there could be a change. It's not just to put your head down and don't do anything. No, because we are not martyrs. So you have to be the best representative at work. You have to represent your effort. And by that, you have to elevate your voice. Not just for you, but also for others. Thank you for your comment because yes, we need to find that balance and its emotional stability. We cannot put water in our glass if our glass is empty. If you are suffering or if something is missing from you. Yes, because people, you are not going to change them. So if you cannot go against your enemy, join them. I'm going to tell you something about the last comment. Personally.
¿Yo quién soy? Yo nomás soy José, yo nomás soy yo.
I'm just Jose, I'm just talking about myself. I do agree with everything, but in one thing. You're not going to change people, and I'm going to tell you why. I changed. I'm better than I was.
Y entré al campo y tenía una idea de lo que era ese trabajo y en verdad
like I had an idea of what a work was like.
La gente cambia.
People change.
Yo no pierdo fe en la gente.
I don't lose my faith in people. I'm realistic. I don't know that sometimes the time is not appropriate for them for their change, and it doesn't go from one day to another. And I'm not saying this because I'm naive. I have seen the impact that people that had faith in me, that saw the best in me, although I couldn't see it at some point. So that's the only thing that I do not agree with you. The third point, when we talk about motivation, when we talk about emotional intelligence, passion for work, the desire to raise the bar, commitment and optimism, those are elements of the third point when we talk about motivation. And I'm not talking about motivating others. I'm talking about self-motivation. As we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, that desire to wake up in the morning to go to your job and do your thing, like if it's like in a positive sense, that is motivation. I think it was on Tuesday this week. Someone told me, oh, Jose, I'm working with the leaders, but they don't want to take actions. Why don't you come and try to motivate them? And I said, okay, you know what? No, why am I going to waste your time? I'm not here to motivate people. People have to have like self-motivation. Sometimes what I can do is just like a reminder, but that motivation has to come from within. Otherwise, the change is going to be a temporary change. That's why we have to work with that internal motivation. That's what brings the best of you. And if you are not giving your best, the role that you have, you try to give the best of yourself. Why I'm not seeing like the best of myself? Why? Like you deserve to give the best. People also deserve to receive the best as well. Motivation, it's the third point when we talk about emotional intelligence. The fourth one is empathy, the capacity to put on other one's shoes. As you can see here in the screen, put on someone else's shoes. Empathy, it's not sympathy or oh, just poor one. No, that's like to feel sympathy for others. Empathy is to be able to put on someone else's shoes. Like when someone has empathy, when you can put on someone else's shoes, although there are shoes that you don't see yourself at, like eye to eye. But the thing is that to be able to, when you have a high level of empathy, you have the capacity to understand others. It has the wit to adapt to other needs. You understand other people's point of view.
De otras personas. Eso es tener empatía.
That's to have empathy.
Y desgraciadamente es una de las áreas donde,
and unfortunately, it's one of the areas that sometimes society is like lacking of. You know, when we talk about empathy, to have empathy for others. And the fifth and last one, we're going to talk about social skills. What is a social skill? Well, when we have high skills, like we have this experience, we can have experience with teams, we can be persuasive, we have a gift to collaborate with others. Social skills, when we can talk on how we communicate, how we listen to others, how we work in groups, all of that are social skills. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm an introvert, extremely introvert. I would say extreme introvert. Introvert is someone that prefers to be alone than that with groups or to talk in front of people. It's something that makes me very uncomfortable. Whether it's 1, 2, or 400 people that are in front of me and I've done it. For me, it's not natural. To develop that skill was the need that I had. So this is in an area that I'm working at. Like, I don't want to be in front of the group. I feel embarrassed. But then I think if I don't say what I have to say, like I'm putting myself before others. So social skills are many tools that once you are working in it, it's going to help you to provide a better service for others. I'm going to wrap up this point to open up for questions. But I want you to see this tool that you see in this image in the slide. It has a lot of tools. And this is what we need to do. We need to be adaptive. You need to see what are the needs to adapt, what they need to, what you need to give from yourself, not just to stay in the areas where you feel comfortable. The development comes in the areas where you are uncomfortable. When you are uncomfortable is when you are developing yourself. stay there. Just don't stop yourself. We don't need to ask permission from anyone to be better, ladies and gentlemen. Do not wait for someone to get there. And now you can be better. No, you don't need permission from anyone. You always have to give the best of yourself, whether you are in an organization and you are not developing the way you want. You have to grab the wheel of your life and you have to go and develop yourself. We don't have to wait for others to invest in ourselves.
Toma los mandos, las riendas de tu vida.
Take the reins of your life. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. It's your own future. What are you waiting for? We have to adapt, and this will bring you to establish relationships that are stronger and they are based on trust. And if you're giving your best, you always will be giving your best. Teresa, we finish here this session and we have some time for questions. Please, whoever is already asleep, please wake up because sometimes people who fall asleep with when I'm talking. I really like that leadership starts from where you can see yourself and when you have the will of your life. I have a hand raise. Continue. Well, I would just like to thank you because what you mentioned is very true. And as you were mentioning, that nobody is going to decide what you're thinking. You're not going to be changing anybody. You have to change. And that is very true. And if every person that we meet in our way would decide for us, we wouldn't see anybody, we wouldn't do anything if we would listen to them. So I am very thankful for this information because you are reinforcing that I'm going in a good way. And it has been hard sometimes for me. But if I had changed the things that I wanted it to do because I like to help the community and I have to be a leader, I wouldn't be here maybe if I listened to them because that wasn't my motivation. I think that each one of us have their own way, and if we continue on that path without letting anybody stopping or interfering, just doing whatever we want to do, we will get to where we want to be. So I just wanted to thank you. Thank you very much, Anna. Such beautiful words. Thank you for sharing them with the group. Thank you for sharing them with me. I'm learning from each one of you and beautiful words. Thank you so much. We have 5 more minutes. And Claudia put hidden in the chat. Thank you so much to the interpreters, Diana and Tanya. Thank you very much. From my part, thank you, Claudia, Elizabeth, Diana, Tanya, and Jose, of course. Thank you very much for a really good reflection. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you. And Jahaira is just writing, thank you so much, Jahaira. I appreciate those